Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. Today we're going to be taking a look at our another constructed deck. We're going to be continuing with the stock walk the plank. Frankly, I might have broken a few promises on this one. First, we still have a bit of a pirate-centric team, but I kind of toned it down quite a bit. It's pretty much just straight control card advantage with an early aggro element. And two, I never got to sneak in a copy of Walk the Plank here. So, deck name's a bit misleading, but it's still classic blue-black card advantage. So, we'll see how well it turns out. So, there are many ways we can get card advantage, but the primary one is taking out our opponent's cards. Now, card advantage is not all about quantity, but quality as well. So we have so our primary means of doing so is Kitesail Freebooter and Thought Erasure. Gives us a lot of things. One, allows us to take an offending card from our opponent's hand. In the case of Kitesail Freebooter, probably gonna take one of the removal spells, force them to draw into another one. Second, it gives us information of what they have, which is quite important considering how we're going to be considering the threats we're playing out. And third, it's just quite annoying for our opponent. So that's pretty much our primary goal. We have copies of Siren Storm Tamer to protect us or some of our threats. We have Depart the Deckhand. This is a way to sneak damage through. I originally wanted to have Curious Obsession in this deck. We did have quite a good number of flyers, but in the end, I figured this one was a bit gimmicky. It wasn't. We didn't need it that much. That said, with the number of flyers here, I won't fault you for putting Curious Obsession in this deck. It is a good way to push the early game through. Maybe just cut out some of the late game cards in exchange for this. So we still have one of our carryovers is Direfleet Poisoner. This one's a bit out of the blue, but it's a very good early remove. It's an early pseudo removal, both on the attack and the defense, I say. Search for Ascanta. Always nice to have at least one copy there. Treasure Map. This one's a carryover from the artifact deck we were building last time. I figured this is a good place to put it as well. Thief of Sanity. Always a classic. Lookout Dispersal. This is virtually counterspell unless you're in the really late game. But we primarily want to do all of our stuff in the early mid. Our opponent's probably gonna answer our threats early mid, so you kind of want to have this one's virtually just fine. And for 2 mana, not too bad. I'm giving Jace a chance in this deck. It's kind of interesting given our deck is mostly flyers. They will get through quite a bit, so we will be churning that +1, and it gets annoying when you after you ultimate him once. 3 copies of Siren Reaver. This is basically just a 3 mana 3/2. We will be attacking quite a bit. That said, this is probably the weakest card of the bunch. There are other decent options for this one. Dreamcaller Siren. This one's also another carryover from the previous deck. I just left it here. Ravenous Chupacabra, Hostage Taker. This is our card advantage, another form of card advantage, taking out our opponent's threats. Discovery Dispersal. Very good early game, very good mid-late game. Plenty of choices. I'm keeping a single copy of Revel in Riches here. I actually had an earlier experiment where I was trying out, let's see, having Deadeye Plunderers, having Revel in Riches. The treasure maps were the only part that stayed in that experiment. The problem was, this is really more of a sideboard card, if any, but I'm willing to leave this here. Anyway, it's an easy side out, if ever. Speaking of sideboards, Blink of an Eye. This one's another form of control. Quench. If we get on the play, we can side in a ton of counter spells. Otherwise, we side in Cast Down for additional removal. Vraska's Contempt if we're if we're about to run into Planeswalkers. Originally had Eldest Reborn here, and Plague Crafter, but being able to target's quite important. Unmoored Ego for some horrendous matchups. Wilderness Reclamation. And Nightveil Predator. Sometimes you want to have a threat that your opponents can't interact with. They can still counter this. This is not a Carnage Tyrant, but this one at least removes an opponent's threat. it is a good bump in the road, I suppose. Other than that, our mana base is quite simple. Single copy Memorial to Genius. We're keeping some submerged boneyards to cover up the fact that we don't have the full playset of our rare dual lands. We really want to have the full playset for this version, but we are able to play around with this one, so I guess this is just fine. Also, Arch of Raska kind of does well in this build. Are there any other cards we could recommend for this build? I suppose if you want to continue with the card advantage engine, you could do Burglar Rat. If you feel like you need additional card draw, Chart the Course would be okay here. Yeah, we're having a lot of attacks, so Chart the Course is okay. You don't necessarily need Chemist's Insight for this one. That said, yeah, that's the deck right now. And we're going to head on. Actually, I tried to start a traditional constructed build, but the problem was I ran into the... What do you call this? Yeah, I ran into maintenance. That's when we... So right now, you're probably seeing all the new cosmetics up and about. I'll probably do another video discussing what's the true cost of these cosmetics, if it's really worth it or not. But for now, let's see if the 1,000 I spent to get in this queue is worth it or not. Let's see how well we do. I'm actually feeling quite confident. If any, being able to play an early Thought Erasure. I need to fix my pronunciation of that. But an early Thought Erasure is actually quite good. It's a very good confidence booster. Early Kitesail Freebooter is kind of the second place. So that's pretty much my plan. Kitesail Freebooter turn 2. Then we can decide what to do next afterwards, depending on if we draw another land or whatnot. So opponent's playing Izzet. I'm suspecting there's gonna be a bunch of Drake. Oh no, this is Guild Gates. Yuck. So unfortunately, I have to let them draw a lot of cards. I have to take the Gates Ablaze. So I know... But that said, I know they will draw a few cards, but I have to play at least one. I have to speed up the clock a little bit, so I'm playing the second Siren Reaver here. Actually, okay, they drew a regular land, so they can play Guild Summit. They might actually play Gates of Blaze, no Guild Summit. So next turn, I will just play Depart. So I actually have a choice here. I'm going to play the Thought Erasure for sure. Okay, Gate Colossus. I can ditch it just to annoy him, but I'm probably going to just take out the Hydroid Krasis, because that's as a cast trigger. Siren Storm Tamer is going to be a bit late. One is probably going to play the second Guild Summit, so I'm going to leave up Lookout Dispersal. I have to do the math. Right now, cost 6. The next land he plays will make it cost 5. Okay, so he's playing that one. Yeah, I did say I was going to disperse it. So let's just disperse that. He'll draw one card. That's a given, so... It costs 5. The next one he plays will make it cost 4. Definitely not playing the Revel. I'm gonna play Treasure Map. The odds of him having drawing into another gate is actually quite a bit. So I'm willing to risk playing the Departed deck. So we can have 2 turns to win. So let's play the Gate Colossus. Won't be able to block anything that we have. So definitely want to bin that. Interesting to note, this does not have any trample, so I'm just gonna keep swinging. Now we can protect one. We can protect at least one of our threats courtesy of Siren Storm Tamer. That's the good news. I'm trying to remember also if Arcway Angel costs 5 or 6. That's a second gate Colossus, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, take the 12. I wonder why I couldn't block that one. Oh, can't be blocked by creatures 2 or less. Yeah, so he has some interesting sideboard tech. Actually, interesting main board tech. Heroic Reinforcements, Mass Manipulation. So, first we have to take out the annoying cards. And we have to... As much as I want to put in removal, so I definitely want the Vraska's Contempts. So let's take out some of the stuff. Dreamcaller Siren can go. Starfleet Poisoner can go. Actually, the Unmoored Ego might be a weak link here. I won't have to just counter them directly if ever. So that leaves us 3 more cuts. Actually, I think this might be too many. So I'll just cut 2 of these and cut 1 of these. Yeah, that's an interesting one for now. So that was an interesting match. So what we need to do is we have to make sure we have a way to take out our opponent's cards early game. Our opponent's only removal seems to be Gates Ablaze, so this is a very weak hand for us. Sure, we got a turn 2 into a turn 3, but one Ablaze wipes it all out, so I'm gonna take a risk and mulligan this. Yuck. Well, okay, I guess I'm gonna mulligan again. Okay, I guess I'm forced to keep this one now. Makes you want to have the London mulligan now. I probably should have kept the earlier hand if this was the case, but at least I have an early counter spell. And I got the 1 into the 2 into the 3. 1 into the 2 into the counter spell. Now, I'm willing to play this one right now. The reasoning is, if he uses a Gates Ablaze on this, it's okay. I'd rather him use it on an early board like this. As of now, he's done... Oh, it's just not sure. So, this is an interesting sideboard. Now, I probably should hold up the Lookout Dispersal, but... Yeah, I'm thinking of holding up the Lookout Dispersal in anticipation of a Gatebreaker Ram or whatnot. I already played my 3rd land, so... It's either... Yeah, so I'm gonna end the turn here. He has to play something. I'm gonna really throw a hissy fit. There's a Guild Summit, so that's an auto counter. And more importantly, well, let's see, it might be, yep, our opponent's stuck on lands. So we're gonna play the Thought Erasure now. Let's see what else. So he's got the Lava Coil, which is okay. Another Guild Summit. He could start playing Hydroid Crisis with Quote Spiral. I'm gonna nuke the 2nd Guild Summit. Keep the Chupacabra up top. If our opponent wants to Lava Coil depart the deckhand, so be it. So I managed to nuke both Guild Summits. If our opponent's desperate for land, probably is he will play the Growth Spiral and hope to draw into another one. It's also possible he has one already, but he probably should play it right now. No reason to hold it. He might be thinking if it's just worth it to just Lava Coil us out of here. He's going for the Growth Spiral Hail Mary. Okay, he missed. So I probably should... Okay, I'm gonna play the Discovery to draw Surveil and draw. multiple Hydroid Crasis, another Crawl Harpooner, so I'm gonna take out the Crawl Harpooner first. Keep the Kitesail Freebooter up top. So basically what I'm trying to do is punish our opponent for keeping a weaker hand. I might have also just signaled that... Okay. He's forced to play the Lava Coil. That's okay. If that last card's now land. I think there's a risk playing this out now. Because if he's bound to draw into another... Well, he drew into another land. Thankfully it's tapped. I can steal it. He's gonna use the Kitesail Freebooter to get some information. This is probably a dead card. Oh no, it's Circuitous Route. Let's take that. So the nice thing about this deck is, especially with this mode, it's about punishing your opponent for punishing your opponent's man for playing with this kind of land. I wonder if it covers. So we get to play our own Hydroid Crasis next turn, regardless of what we draw. Takes a Blaze, wipes it out. He gets a 0/0. Okay. Let's get... So, not too shabby. Well... That's what's happening now. Figure out what we don't want. So we need to draw into another threat since we know our opponent's about to Crasis away. He might actually just play the route now. So what am I hoping to draw into? Probably another Thought Erasure. Discovery Dispersal is okay too. Vraska's Contempt, I'll keep that. I could just use the Discovery half now. Okay, so I'm gonna set it up like... I'm gonna set it up like this. Draw the island. Play the island. Yeah, because I'm gonna need a little more land eventually. Opponent has an Archway Angel to gain some life. Yeah, a ton of life. So let's ditch that. I might actually just pass the turn right now. Force him to play the Crasis or a Gate Colossus. Yeah, Archway Angel costs 6, so I didn't have to worry about it in that last game. Crasis. So it's a cast trigger. Place a Gate Colossus, which I have to answer instead. It sucks, but I have no choice here. This is the one that keeps coming back. That's the only reason I brought the Vraska's Contempts. No, the Dispersal half is not going to help us since our opponent still has a full grip. Plus. Yeah, so we unfortunately failed to gain containment over our opponent. We're probably going to lose this game. Wait. So we can cast this for X equals 3. We'll draw one card and round down each time. So I might as well just cast this for X equals 2. So not much, but at least it gets it out of his camp. Hydroid Crasis, can't do anything about that. Let's just probably should start playing in the Unmoored Eagles, but if I were to do that, Jace Cunning Castle is not gonna do anything, so I'm gonna just draw a card. Yeah, that's probably the one card I should sub out. It's not. He isn't gonna do wonders in this matchup. Or the deck hands. Nope. This is. Nope. We're gonna lose. Nope. We'll lose this one. So I could just play the Siren Weaver's stopgap, but we got a long ways to go. So I'm gonna side out the Jace. I might actually side out the Siren Reavers altogether. We're now on the play, so I'm gonna bring in the 2 Quenches, 1 Blink. Actually, Nightveil Predator is actually not a bad card for this matchup. Well, nope, not true. He can still Gates Ablaze it. Cast Down's probably okay too. Okay. So we got the email, that's good. Let's just cut the 1 Blink, cut 1 Departed Deckhand. Let's bring in 2 cast. Let's bring in at least 2 cast downs. I'm gonna bring in 2 cast downs. Maybe a third one. Just cut out the Siren Storm Tamer. So at least we got 1 game off this guy. Not too sure if we're going to get the second one. At least we're on the play. Got the counters. Got the Thief of Sanity. I might even just... So depending on what we see with Kitesail Freebooter, so definitely take the gates. Oh, he's got the Crawl Harpooner and the Forest. So he can play Crawl Harpooner. Yeah, I'll just take the Gates Ablaze anyway. It doesn't matter. We're gonna lose it a bit, but at least we forced his hand. We'll delay his mana quite a bit. And last I checked, so yeah, last I checked, his red sources are not basic, so he's gonna hold it back. I'm also gonna hold back a bit for now, because I at least have Quench mana. I know he won't play either of these two. But he might play something else. Not a There's a Quench. I'm actually okay if he plays Gates Ablaze. It means he wipes the board. Just play the toggle ratio to mute the circuitous route. It's not gates. Let's mute the circuitous route. And I'm gonna force him to block. It has reach, I know that. At least it clears the board. He might just end up playing Guild Summit and... Oh, he didn't play the Plaza or something. He's gonna go for the Guild Summit first, I assume. Let's see, to tap draw 2 cards. So, okay, where's my Departed Deckhand? So we will get a few early beats. Problem is we did not get as much control as we wanted. The Crawl Harpooner is really backbreaking for our Kitesail Freebooters. Another Guild Summit, and I have none of my control elements. Full grip. And we're definitely gonna lose. We burned through most of our control a bit early, but Harmony is also wrecking this deck. It's okay if you get control, but the moment you lose control, it's all downhill from there. Okay, got cast down, so we kinda wish I knew I was gonna draw the cast down. I would rather use the cast down and the Crisis rather than test the full grip. Yeah, this is a no outs to Colossus. Well, technically we have an out of sorts. Unfortunately, not a great out. He'll just force our opponent to use the Gates Ablaze. I'm gonna wait for our opponent to play something else. Problem is, we only have 7 mana, which means... yeah, which means this is the only legit target. Yep, that is a good game though. All he has to do is just play Gates Ablaze and it's over. But that was the best we got. Isn't that... yeah, also I can't take one. I could have taken one Gate Colossus to delay. Yeah, it would just delay the inevitable. So... first run, not so great. Got Sarah's Wings for our troubles. Let's see if we can do a little better next one. I suppose the only way we can beat the Gates deck is to take advantage of our opponent's weaker mana base. It's unfortunate, so that might mean that we need to have a full control shell. We just drop all the creatures in our... where we drop most of our creatures, we just keep only a few of them. And everything else is just counter spells and bounce. We do need to have some sort of card draws. So I might actually have to put Chemist's Insight back in after all. Eldest Reborn is also another good... it's probably one of the better outs. I should put that back in. I'm actually thinking Unmoored Ego might not... no, it kind of fits the deck, but with only 2 copies, it might be a hard stretch. Wow. Thankfully, our opponent also mulliganed. Okay, this is a better one. So, we keep this one. So, Siren Storm Tamer into Treasure Map. Fortunately, gonna have to lose the Arch. So, the matchup I wanted. No, this is not mono blue. There's the Curious Obsession. So I'm going to be forced to play another Siren Storm Tamer just to block this guy. So we'll play the Submerged Boneyard. That said, we're definitely siding in our cast outs and quenches. Okay. I just realized something. There might be a dive down here waiting for us. I'm gonna go for it. Here's the blowout that's waiting to happen. Yeah. Fortunately, don't have much of a choice. I've only played 1 spell so far. So I'm gonna pass first. I'm expecting a Tempest Gen to come out, so I need to at least be able to counter that. And I can just play Discovery Treasure Map next turn. And should be trying to close out the game. Of course. I'm gonna counter it. The last thing I want to do is fill this guy's hand. Now that said, he could still have something like Spell Pierce, so that would be annoying. Yeah, there you go. So he's not... Oh, no Spell Pierce. Or he's probably saving it for when I inevitably draw removal. So I need this one first. Oh, he did have a Spell Pierce. Weird. Okay, so second freebooter is not gonna do anything. I just search. I'm gonna just dump them both. I need an actual answer now. We're gonna take a beating with this one. That's not the card I wanted to see, so do that, play the treasure. I might just have Siren Weaver. I could buy some time, I guess. Okay, so our opponents will... I could have just chosen to block the Terramander, but I think the life total is more important, especially since I know I'm about to lose this game. Yeah, let's just take a look. Yeah, I could have used that. I could have used that later. Let's go to the next one. So now that we know what our opponent has, let's just bring those in. So what are the cards that we're gonna cut out? Revel. Green Collar Siren's actually quite good. Darkfleet Poisoner not so much. Siren Storm Tamers actually a bit they're actually okay. Treasure Maps are actually not okay for this matchup. Might also cut the Departed. Might also just cut the Departed deckhands. So not too sure how how well this is gonna go, but we do get first crack. We just need to have, I think we need to have a good fistful of 2 mana spells. And okay, we got a pair of them. That's good. Kitesail Freebooter, our first goal is to take out any dive downs. Yeah, we're probably gonna we're aiming for dive downs and Curious Obsessions. Okay, at least we got 2 of them. Okay, only one choice, Wizard's Retort. I'll take it. That's one less counter spell to worry about. I have to remember that Merfolk Trickster is a wizard. I could just play the second freebooter just to get more information. It's not going for it. If I attack with this one, he just plays this out. Then he can block this, so that's a no. Yeah, just unfortunately, I'm not gonna get the next turn that one. Okay, I know he's gonna play the second freebooter. Probably a mistake. Probably should have ensured I got the other land. Oh, stole a Curious Obsession. There you go. So that was a good call. Then you'll just play the Storm Tamer. Now hopefully we can get our next land so we can take out the Hostage Taker. Again, No attacks, not until he plays this trickster. I might end up just playing my own trickster instead. Or rather, I might play hostage taker to take the trickster. Our opponent's gonna oblige. But it now means that the coast is kind of clear. I'm just gonna send the Science Run Tamer in. Last thing I want to do is have the Terralanders double block one of my freebooters and have him get his stuff back. But now I need to draw one of my lands. Obsession, okay. So I'll take the hit. But I need to draw that land. Okay. Yep. Okay, really need that land, so I'm gonna play the Discovery. Okay, I'll keep vote. So I'll take a bit of a hit first. No worries in that one. I might just end up blocking the Merfolk Trickster, keep his hand down to as few cards as possible. Okay, plays it out, good. So, first off, I have my own island, so I can't take this Tempest Chain actually. I need to answer the trickster first. I think I can afford to take one more hit. So still no attacks because I have no intention of blocking. I'm still willing to take damage here. Opponent playing out the lands, sure it gives him the damage boost. Also need to check. He has... Nope, he does not have the mana to pump one of these guys. Probably in hindsight, I should not have kept the Thunderate. Neither would I think we've managed to gain control of the situation. That said, okay, now he can boost these. If he's attacked with both, he can only boost one. He has to decide what he wants. And if he boosts one, he'll only get the counter spell back, which I can still Totteration. He's gonna get the Curious Obsession. Now, will I have enough time to race this guy? Maybe. I'm gonna just use Totteration now because I know the Quench is not gonna hit. Keep the Discovery Dispersal. Hopefully he does not play something more expensive. Okay, I don't know what that is. Well, it only... Well, he discards the land instead. He figured I have that. And you can boost this anytime. Kinda wish I still had the departed deck hands now. Okay, Thought Erasure does nothing. Just cast a... I guess I will just cast a Siren Reaver. So I can get in for 2 damage. It's very close. I might end up just sacking the freebooter if he attacks. Actually, no, I'll just take the hit first. Because he now has to play something. We dodged a bullet there. If he had another creature, that would have been a problem. Now, unfortunately, we're on the draw, so yeah, the cast on's still correct. Quench is maybe not so correct. I'm gonna cut two of the quenches for 2 blinks. That was a bit of a close one, but having the early deck, having the early freebooter, steal all those critical spells. We're not gonna get lucky this time, so turn 1 Storm Tamer is a bonus, but we still want to have a full grip of 2s. Unfortunately, we got none of that. Definitely mulligan. This is slightly better. At least we got a 1 into a 2. Fortunately, that has to go. We need to draw into a 3 land. Let me guess, Terramander. Nope, Storm Tamer. That's okay. It's also target opponent, so if our opponent leaves up mana, that's a problem. I might end up just holding off on the Thought Erasure, just go for the Quench. Here comes the Curious Obsession. But at least it needs his shields down, so I guess I will Thought Erasure now. Essence Capture and a whole bunch of nothing. We got Kitesail Freebooter too. I should have just attacked. I was never gonna block this guy. Yeah, that's meaningless. He took out 1 Essence Capture. The odds of him having second, I'm not too sure. It's just basically the economics of if they're having 4 cards. I was forced to attack with just a Mistcloak Herald and the Mistcloak Herald. I'm gonna actually just play Freebooter first. Okay, finds absolutely nothing. I'll send the Reaver over. If it trades with Storm Tamer, that's fine. If not, I'm just gonna have to send these 2 to block this one. A bit of a block situation. He might have the dive down, in which case I can't do anything about it. Probably should have attacked first. I think he's telegraphing... He might be telegraphing Merfolk Trickster. Can't do anything about that. Okay, so now we gotta race. I want to draw at least 1 more land so I can... Okay, check his spell counts. Only 1. Okay, this is Let's just be annoying. Small pierce, yeah. So we just need to outpace our opponent, so we have to take the Terra Mana. Because these Missile Cloak Heralds are never gonna go. We also have Tree Spell, so it just costs us 5 mana to boost. Just gonna send this. There's no harm, no foul. Send the whole board. Those all fly, so yeah, you probably want to block the Hostage Taker. If you could play your Merfolk Trickster now. Okay. He's gonna play a dive down to keep it alive. That's okay. I should just play the Discovery. And we survived Mono Blue Tempo. Actually, I heard that Mono Blue Tempo still very good in best of one. Might be having a hard time catching. Okay, I guess I could put a third copy of that. We'll save that for later. Gate Deck is still as annoying as ever. Kinda want to have Blood Moon back, but I doubt that's gonna happen. Blood Sun's also probably not gonna... Okay, so we got... I guess the turn 2 Discovery is not too bad. Turn 2 Discovery, turn 3 Jace. This is not the best hand, to be honest. I'm hoping our opponent is on the slow end. Then watch our opponent play a mountain. Nope. Okay, so... Not fast, but could still be telegraphing Mono Blue Tempo. Okay. Oh, it's control shell of some sort. So I will play Discovery Dispersal. So I need to... ditch the Storm Tamer. Keep the Swamp up top because I need the double black soon. I'll do Jace next. I'm seeing 2 islands. There's definitely a second spell. Mono Blue straight control. You're probably better off okay, there's white. So this could be white-blue control. So there's a potential... Okay, I'm gonna play this out. I'm gonna eat the Absorb. There's the Absorb. Next turn, I might just place regular old Siren Weaver. So far from the looks of it, our opponent... Okay, so this is really white-blue control. I should pay attention to this. I do have to build Azorius next. This might be the template I need to build around. It's gonna force our opponent to counter our stuff. Oh, he's out of potentially out of counters. And the only rats that he'll have are Settle and Cleansing Nova, neither of which he can play yet. He's ditched Angel of Grace, so he has an extra life buffer. Excellence Binding on this one will be... meh. Okay, so he's still missing out on planes. It's got the Fairy. So I'm gonna have to go for the beatdown right here.
You'll thank me later.
Oh, he's gonna go for the mine. He might. Oh, he's gonna go for the mines. So Given that, each opponent returns then discards a card. No, I'm not letting him reset Teferi. I might have... Ideally, I want to just play Dreamcaller Siren. So, we'll pass. Ditches another Ascanta. He's about to... He's really just waiting for the extra mana. Draws a card, sure.
No time for a break.
Yeah, if this deck is non-removal, I'm sub the Chupacabras. Oh no, not true. He has creatures. Let's play the Hollow Fountain. He's not taking the damage. He's not playing anything else. We'll play this out now while he's... He might still have another Absorb, but... He probably has Sinister Sabotage as well. So my next plan now is to probably just play one Chupa. Try through the Thought Erasure first. Let's see. Let's clear the way. Ixalan's Binding, Cleansing Nova. I'm gonna nuke the Binding. Keep that on top. Play Raven's Chupacabra. The only good news, the only good news I have is that he doesn't have that many cards yet.
Keep up the pace.
That's gonna change soon. I would really like him to pull the trigger in Cleansing Nova now. Okay, so that's one less card. Shall I? Okay, so he's not pulling yet. In fact, he might... Okay, went for the Ascanta. Probably should do it end of turn. Yeah, you're not gonna have enough mana to Sinister Sabotage this. I'm gonna lose both Chupacabras, but that's okay. Just get rid of that one. So that's his second Shall I?
Time for plan B.
I might just do Discovery Dispersal. That said, he does have some bigger creatures, so Dispersal might actually work. Well, not if I keep holding up mana like this. Yeah, let's just play it out. So, Lookout's Dispersal, sure. Siren Storm Tamer. I don't think I want either. Maybe the Dispersal. So, slightly awkward. I might draw mana. But it's still kind of awkward. Opponent is going to be forced to play Cleansing Nova. If he doesn't play Cleansing Nova, it means he's holding up a creature. He's going to play Cleansing Nova. There we go. So my next out is Siren Reaver with Lookout Dispersal backup. That's only true if I draw a land. Definitely, I want to side in Unmoored Eagle since I know he's playing. I know this is his only linchpin. So, nope, I'll let him counter the first one. And there are no buts about it. It's gonna be a while to deal with this one though.
We need to move quickly.
Somehow I drew more cards than he did. It's probably only because of the discovery. No, he didn't draw. No, he drew more cards. I just dumped some in the bin. There's a big difference with that. Excellence binding. Okay. Bad news is if he tries to, he will have the mana to avoid this. So maybe soft counters are not the way to. Oh, they're good early game. He has, but his early game is not so great actually. He's really more of a mid. So I want to be more aggressive. Yeah, I'll go for it. Wait, he has to dig. That's okay. I still probably won't get past the excellence binding though. But if he's digging for a counter spell, there, let him cast that. I think it's my last. No, there's one more sign. So force our opponent to use excellence binding. Yeah, we need to side in the blink of an eyes also.
Hold that thought.
Opponent's about to get control soon. Yeah, we really need to have our full fist of Dancing Nova again. So through all of this, yeah, we haven't drawn a single freebooter. He's drawn his third sin, so he's full of hard counters. So that's a problem. I'm gonna just keep playing this just to keep forcing him to use out his counters. Eventually, when I draw a land, I will crack Memorial. So, okay, so ditched another Shalai, which is actually quite good. It puts us in less pressure.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
Opponent's eventually gonna play Angel of Grace sometimes. It's probably got another copy by now. Actually, the more I think of it, this kind of deck wants the Scry Sphinx, the one where if you have it in your opening hand, you get a bonus scry. That would be. It's really about getting that kind of control. Yuck. Excellence binding. It'd be interesting if I slip a departed deck hand, but okay. This is yeah, unfortunately at this point it's very hard to regain control. And I think I've seen everything I need to see. Basically, it's just full of large removal, hard removal, all sorts of removal. I'm gonna concede now at this point, save both of us time. And we'll just go straight to sideboard where I know I have to 1, 2. So Chupacabra goes. No, not true. He has creatures. Blinks come in. Siren Storm Tamers are probably. Well, it helps against Ixalan's binding, but not against everything else. Let's cut these two. I'm gonna also put in Nightveil Predators, though. At least it dodges some removal. It doesn't dodge all removal. Just cut the Siren Reavers, I suppose. I'm also gonna cut Jace. Cut Revel. Yeah, I guess I will play some Quenches. Probably just 3 copies. Cut the Departed Deckhands and 1 Siren Storm Tamer. So this one's a bit experimental. It's a bit of a risk too, if you ask me. I guess I probably would rather side in some harder counters. Especially if I keep having to mulligan my first hand. Okay, this is better. So... yeah, definitely need to keep that. We have a double black. So... first, Kitesail freebooter. So we need to take out any counters. Actually, I'm willing to take out the search because that's one engine. And then next, I'm going to play Thief of Sanity while he can't be casting Sword on that. And the next turn, probably play the. To start taking our opponent's stuff. Syncopate is a good one. Yeah, I'll take the Syncopate. So I can play... yeah, I'm gonna play Torturation. And I'm gonna take out Sticker. Let's Absorb. Couldn't have done it without you. So he's got Resplendent Angel, but not the mana. Teferi's the bigger threat. Yeah, I'm gonna nuke this Teferi. Got another land, I'm gonna ditch that. Even if he manages to get the extra... okay, he's got the planes, he'll play Resplendent Angel. Fortunately, I'm gonna be shields down on the first line. Shield health. I need to take an Ixalan. Oh, I'll take a Lyra too. So we're gonna have some Lyra and Lyra violence. If he plays the fairy first, when he's playing Lyra first, he needs to block this one. Unfortunately, I have to play my own Lyra. Next turn, he's bound to just play a land and play the fairy. I'm probably gonna swing with everything. No, he'll just gain some life off this. I hit him back, so he takes out one creature. I negate the life gain. If he drew into an Ixalan's Binding, that'd be annoying. He might actually even just -1. No, use his minus ability to get rid of Lyra. Yeah, he's gonna do that.
You need to slow down.
I need to hate that out. Kitesail Freebooter is not gonna help me. Fortunately, yeah, I'm gonna have to sacrifice one of my guys just to kill Teferi.
Only time will tell.
Now, if he has to play something big, I can counter it. That's the good. I can virtually counter it for the most part. I still need an answer for Lyra. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna keep passing. Opponent's eventually gonna cash this into draw cards. I need to be able to put more permanents so I can start drawing cards of my own. Draws into another Lyra, but well, I suppose I can remove it, but well, he could swing once, then just recap. He's casting Excellence Binding. I'm going to have to quench that. That's one control spell out of the way. Yeah, it's either Lyra or Teferi. So he's only got, okay, so there's the 1, 2, he only has a total of 3 Teferis. Kiss Azor, so Angel of Graces, more absorbs than I can count. Well, at least let's get rid of the linchpin. And his hand doesn't have, yeah, okay, that's
that is only a matter of time.
Could still have a counter spell. Lookouts his personal's not Excellence Binding. Okay, at least I can finally use it the last one. Finally get rid of that one. So I'm now hoping to draw into a hostage taker. Send these guys so they don't accidentally get killed. So another land will allow me to start drawing cards. Cards too. So the counters actually did work. So we're still in real trouble. We need to enter 2 Lyras. To absorb. That's probably the card I should have taken out. Yeah. In my quest to defeat Teferi, I forgot most of them were already in the graveyard. The correct answer is I saw the Lyra. That's probably the correct answer. I could. It would have been hard to say Absorb or Sinister Sabotage since he had both, in his deck list at least. Now, unfortunately, Cast Down does nothing here. Okay, well, at least I didn't draw that. And, okay, Vraska's Contempt's a bit late, but I need to... And our opponent might still have the answer to this. Shalai, so I can't deal with Lyra without dealing with Shalai first. Play Search, so at least it limits us. It limits counter spells. So Rush Boneheart's not going to do it. I'm gonna play this first enemy. At least it buys me a little bit in the form of 2 additional life. At that point, I took the Lyra because our opponent had the Lyra. Would I have been better off having that Lyra be discarded? problem. It's the -1 that kind of ruined it. Okay, he has the counter back up, so we're probably not gonna win at. Probably not gonna win at all. Yeah, Lyra's the best finisher for white blue. Definitely need to keep that in mind. And I guess that's it. And that's all I got. Well, unfortunate that the game had to end, but that's how it is. So we did get a few, at least one good win against Mono Blue. So let's claim our meager prize. Okay, got one rare. We'll open that last. Not bad. So that is it for this part of the run. Now we're gonna go examine the deck and see if we can adjust that one. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, we're still looking at it there, so hold on a second. Okay, let's cancel that and control F3. Okay, now we're taking a look at the deck list as it is. Now, so what are the weak points of this deck? One, the Siren Reverse. This one's just simply simply aggro, nothing else. So that also means the Darfleet Poisoner and the Dreamcaller Siren can also go. I'm willing to keep the Departed deckhands because you do want to have some early game pirates. We're kind of all in on that at this point. So what other pirates are there? So I'm on the lookout for 2 mana, 3 mana pirates. This is interesting. One Daring Saboteur. When it deals combat damage to player, draw a card. If you do discard a card, you sink mana just to. So this is a good way to draw cards. It's just awfully vulnerable. 1 toughness. Deadeye Tracker. It's actually a very good sideboard card if you're dealing against a graveyard opponent. Deadeye Tormentor. Also a good way to take control. Forces your opponent to discard cards. Generally, this makes this an anti-control target, so it's actually quite good. Starfleet Hoarder. Yeah, at least it gives you a treasure when it dies. You cut the Starfleet Poisoner. Fathom Fleet Captain. This one's... If you have this one's also quite decent. Although this is really more aggro. Not exactly what we're building up to. Kitesail Corsair, this one is one of the commons in the deck. At least it flies, but not... You're basically looking for cards that either draw you cards or take out your opponent's cards. There was a Ruin Raider in the deck list. Between that, I'd rather just have Midnight Reaper. Rootless Knave? No, I'd rather just have Treasure Map. Sailor of Means, very good way to block stuff. Shipwreck Looter, actually quite okay. I might actually be better off with Stormfleet Aerialist. So once in a while it's a 2/3 flyer, not too bad. Actually, what we can do is we can shift this back towards the tempo route. This is essentially really more of a tempo deck rather than control deck. So with that in mind, well, Slippery Scoundrel is also okay. Only if you get a Sendo. So I'm willing to trade those out with Stormfleet Aerialists. So keeping these guys. Jace is still okay, just not that... It's just matchup dependent. Revel's kind of dead. Discovery Dispersal's okay. I'm willing to cut one deck hand. Actually, Let's cut all. Yeah, let's cut all the deck hands for now since we're subbing them with area lists. Sea legs. Not quite dive down. Dive down's probably still good actually. Times 3 navigator. No, not that kind of deck. Wanted scoundrels, no. Too much removal. Warkite Marauder, I actually had that in my deck list before I cut it. One copy should be okay. And let's just put in the Curious Obsessions. This is a better way around it, though you do end up wanting to have cheaper counter spells. Another thing you can do is, let's minimize the Curious Obsession a bit. Because we're not all in an obsession, so I guess we can cut one area list as well. So the idea is you want to take control of your opponent's early board, so the Thought Erasure is fine, the Kitesail Freebooter is fine. Chupacabra, nice advantage, but I might actually just... Okay, so we also have to adjust our mana base too. So I'm actually willing to cut the 2 Chupacabras, move the Vraska's Contempts up to the main board. I'm willing to keep the Quenches. Actually, wait, there is another thing we can do. So we have Stormfleet area list. Basically, it's an early flyer, which we can boost even further. Lookout Dispersal. I might actually just cut the Quenches altogether. So put 2 copies here, 2 copies here. Syncopate is always a good one here, so I'm willing to actually fill this up with about 3 copies of Syncopate. Probably fill up the blink of an eye. Then what was I thinking? So we cut out a bit of the advantage. So we have choices between Chart the Course and Opt. I'm willing to put the Chop of course. I'm willing to put 2 copies of Chart here. So we're much more closer to a tempo deck. We don't have any big... instead of playing out big finishers like Tempest Jin, it's all about taking control of our opponent's side of the board. That said, the Nightveil Predator is okay. I might actually just cut the Syncopates. As I mentioned, we do need to have additional ones, so I'm gonna put in Eldest Reborn. This is this is also an expensive finisher, but it does a lot of things at once. Sometimes if we end up having to cut most of our weaker creatures, this is how we do need the finisher. So let's analyze. Definitely want to fix the mana base, but yeah, this one's a little bit more blue heavy, which is just fine. I guess if you open Tempest Jins, yeah, we'd be close. You might actually be better off opening Zahid, I think. No, just 1 mana difference, not 2. It's not that worth it. Tempest Jin's just fine, I say. But just not for this deck. We have too much dependent on swamps and whatnot. Definitely want to fill up the Watery Graves and the Drowned Catacombs. We'll definitely cut the 2 Submerged Boneyards and 1 swamp, 1 island. If you ever are in a position where you have to play the regular tap lands, instead of Submerged Boneyard, just play the Dimir Guildgate. Sometimes you do get lucky with that matchup. You steal a Gatebreaker Ram. That's one way to go around it. So other options we have, so we maxed out on the 2 slot. That's the important one. Other options we have is add a few more Thieves of Sanity. They're still good for certain matchups. Favorable wins is, I feel like it's a bit of a win more, but it is worth a shot, I suppose. So, yep, land source distribution's fine. And there is the deck. Probably not the greatest form of control. We're basically missing. We do have creatures that deal damage, draws us cards, but they don't have built innovations. We have Gateway Sneak. But you have to be playing gates. It's really just Curious Obsession's the card you want to have in this case. Just build your own looter. We also saw the other pirate. That's also another looter, but kind of hard to justify. So I'm willing to go with this one. The chart, of course, probably could just be more removal. Maybe even harder removal, like just say murder. I guess that is a good option too. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot, and hope to see you guys again next time.